The Antrim coast of Northern Ireland in late autumn offers a distinctly bleak welcome. You step out into freezing wind, smelling the ocean before you can even see it crashing against the cliffs. A few miles up that coastline sits Dunluce Castle. Its history is defined by a specific tragedy from 1639, when a violent storm tore away a section of rock, plunging the kitchen and cooking staff hundreds of feet into the churning sea below. Further south, you'll find the stone fortress of Carrickfergus Castle. Locals there still pass down the story of a soldier wrongfully executed in the late 18th century, whose spirit is said to wander the parapets. Spend enough time driving this landscape, and you start to feel the psychological weight of it. With practically every pile of stones carrying a centuries-old story of betrayal or disaster, your mind is thoroughly primed to expect something unnatural, which leads us to the Ballygally Castle Hotel. Built in the early 17th century, its 5-foot-thick walls and towering corner turrets anchor what is widely considered the most haunted location in Northern Ireland. The building's darkest lore centers on Lady Isabella Shaw. According to the legend, her husband locked her in a tiny room at the top of a corner turret. Driven to despair, she plunged from the window to the jagged rocks below. That ancient tragedy took on modern weight when BBC reporter Kim Lenigan spent a night in that very turret. While sitting with a medium, she documented a sudden, inexplicable 10-degree spike in the cramped room's temperature. Immediately following the heat, an oppressive scent filled the space. Lenigan described it as a heavy, musty vanilla that seemed to coat her clothes and hair. The reporter fled the room at 3 a.m. The next morning, she learned the medium claimed the spirit was desperately searching for her daughter, and someone, or something, had written the name Kim into the thick dust of the turret's mirror. Decades later, I decided to test that exact room. Armed with a video camera and thoroughly fortified by a few drams of Irish whiskey, I set out to conduct my own midnight vigil. When you combine 400 years of grisly local history with highly credible, sensory-rich modern testimonies, you create a specific kind of mental environment. Walking up those stairs, the brain is already working to turn every shadow into a confirmation. The staircase leading up to the ghost room is narrow, steep, and suffocatingly tight. I switched my camera to night vision and started climbing into the pitch black. But right at the threshold, the camera beeped. The battery icon flashed empty, and the screen abruptly died. I walked back down to my room, plugged the camera in, and it immediately powered on, showing a full charge. I walked back up the stairs, and in the exact same spot, it died again. It was a perfect, localized glitch, the exact kind of anomaly that feels like a deliberate greeting from the room. Thoroughly unnerved and out of working equipment, I abandoned the vigil. I went back to my room, located directly beneath the turret, and fell asleep. Hours later, I woke in total darkness to a sharp tapping. The sound grew into a heavy knock, then a violent banging that physically moved across the wall, approaching the bed. The tension stretched to a breaking point, and then the hotel's old plumbing let out a heavy groan as the furnace roared to life. In the quiet of a haunted hotel, the gap between a failing battery and a spectral presence is shorter than we often admit. Our brains are efficient. They take the expansion of a metal pipe and within milliseconds invent a monster. The next morning, I drove to the Belfast airport to catch a flight home, entirely ready to leave the Gothic atmosphere behind. The airport was sterile, brightly lit, and deeply normal. Then the security alarms went off. Terminals were cleared. Within seconds, heavily armed soldiers surrounded me, demanding answers about my luggage. Staring at the security monitor, they pointed to an image showing 3 dense cylinders wrapped in overlapping wires. To an X-ray tech, it looked like a makeshift explosive. Those cylinders were the C-cell batteries for my video camera. To save space, I had taped them end to end and tossed them into my bag, where they tangled with the camera cables. 12 hours earlier, those batteries were evidence of a haunting. Now they were being scrutinized as a national security threat. One set of household objects had managed to terrify both a ghost hunter and a bomb squad in a single weekend. I managed to avoid detonation, though I left Northern Ireland heavily encouraged by airport security never to return. I had encountered exactly 0 ghosts. Years later, I wrote an article documenting that absurd trip. Out of the blue, a woman who read the piece sent me a brief, polite message. We started talking. Eventually, we got married. We traveled to ancient ruins looking for profound meaning, hoping the dead might offer some insight. But it is the entirely earthly chaos, the failing electronics, the noisy plumbing, and the unexpected conversations that actually shape our lives.